on record.
All right.
So Lisa's driving to Starbucks as usual.
So for all of you listeners out there, if you don't know already, I have a serious Starbucks addiction. You're about to hear me order. I don't know if I'm going to go with the latte or if I'm going to go with the iced lemonade.
Now do
iced tea.
the latte, because then you can pour it in Frangelico or something when you get back.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. But the iced tea lemonade, I could just put straight gin in.
So why don't you just get both?
Oh, man, you're really
working happy hour later too, which would be interesting.
I know.
I mean, we should talk about really the people who's going to be coming on board for the next 2 sessions, right? You got Lee with us. We're going to find out about why he's doing what he's doing, and also producing us. Then we have Ginger Hale, a journalist.
Can't wait for Ginger. She is she's the best. That's going to be a good one.
That'll be a really good one. Ooh, I hope. Yeah, no, it's too early. We can't drink that early, but that's another story. And then we have a webinar that's coming up. Well, we can get started. Yeah, that's true. Well, a webinar that's coming up in the end of the month, July, on human trafficking, which is going to be a very contentious topic in my book that I think a lot of people are high their head about.
Well, here's why I think it's a really important one to do, and particularly right now. Sort of along the same lines of what we were just saying, this is a big problem. It's a worldwide problem, does not get enough media attention, which I'm sure when Ginger gets on the video cast, we're going to talk a little bit about media and how they sometimes skew or underreport certain things.
Right.
And, you know, this topic in particular, there's so much legislation out there. There's the recent executive order that we were just discussing around human trafficking, around narcotics, and the two go hand in hand. So,
you know what bothers me is that they're not doing anything about businesses that sell to kids. Those policies have to be changed.
Well, and that's exactly my point, right? So there's a lot happening, but you don't really see, and maybe there's a lot of connections behind the scenes in terms of expertise on the technical side, jumping in saying we got to really start regulating technologies that are marketing to kids or yada yada, but you don't know because it's just not in the public eye. Hold that thought. But yeah, I mean, this is a big topic, you know, and I am going to make a little prediction that with all the stuff as far as legislation goes, we're going to start seeing a lot more media attention around trafficking, exploitation. I mean, there's already some minimal media coverage, right? With Ghislaine Maxwell, with obviously Epstein, the whole Nexium thing. So you're starting to see a lot of that stuff come to light, but
see, the challenge with that I find is that we're not targeting the tools that they're utilizing. If we target the corporations that provide the tools that they're utilizing to exploit and target these kids and people.
But now we go back to the original conversation that we were having with Ginger, which was these are corporations that fund media. So that's why you're not going to hear a lot of this stuff. Well, you know, how are they going to throw their customers under the bus?
Or what you do is you get the parents to start talking and start knocking down the doors as to how you're protecting my kids. I was one of those parents.
And then it goes back to, one second.
What did you get?
Iced tea. It's an easier mixer. But so you don't see the parents getting involved because the parents don't know, because it's not mainstream.
So this is a question, is how do we spread the news? I mean, doing a webinar on July 30th is a way. I'm spreading it to the kids and the parents and also trying to spread it to the community. But I think we're going to need more help on that. And it's not just us. It's also people who are trying to protect their own children in getting this message out.
Well, and so we only have the platforms that we have, right? You know, there are folks like Saved in America, Love 146, Above the Path, Thorn. These are all organizations that I've personally reached out to support volunteer, become an advocate for. We're going to have some of them on some of the webinars with WISE. And so we can only use the platforms that we have and support the organizations that are really fighting the fight every day.
Right.
So that's where we're at, but it's all, again, to raise awareness until we hit that critical mass and more parents, people in general, really open their eyes and their mouths to what the heck is going on, and raising that awareness and fighting for change. That's when you'll really start to see the needle move.
So we need to do this then, is in the comments when this is out, we need people to chime in as what they think would be helpful to help bring the message forth, so that way people, and we actually have not just people, but also the resource to help in changing that. Because I think right now people aren't talking about it, right? And until shit hits the fan, I know you can edit that out, sorry, Lee, nothing's gonna happen. And in our one of our webinars, the webinar that's coming up, we actually have a parent who actually is experiencing it, and their child is a victim. Now, this child is gonna be forever scarred now. So whoever's out there as a parent, have to think about that.
Right. And now that's more along the lines of trafficking, but what about the children that fall under the exploitation umbrella?
That's a scary one too.
Those tend to be people that don't necessarily need to be rescued. They might not even realize all of the resources that are available for them to recover, because this is always pushed under the rug. Yeah. So that's
I don't know. I think that's a topic that has to be brought out. People have to talk about it. People need to think about it. And even parents out there, like, how are you protecting your child? Do you even know what your child does day in and day out? Remember that whole 10 o'clock at Fox 5 at news? It's 10
Do you know where your kids are?
You know where your kids are. I mean, this is the same thing.
We went from that to, please don't quote me on this statistic, but something like 60 to 70% of child porn sites gather just regular pictures that are innocently posted on social media by parents. So
you're gonna lock your accounts. I hope parents lock their accounts and set the parameters that you can't save photos. Well, people can cut and paste, but that's another story.
Right. Well, and so we're in a completely different world from do you know where your kids are to
do you know what your kids are doing?
Do you know where the last picture you posted is on the dark web?
Oh my God, that's such a scary thing. I mean, can you imagine, if someone can figure out a way to auto delete a picture immediately, or auto delete certain things but then that's like Big Brother again. People are afraid of Big Brother.
I mean, I'll agree with that. There's certainly a fine line for law-abiding citizens to maintain some level of privacy. Oh boy.
Don't worry, my kids are downstairs screaming.
Between that and doing what needs to be done to protect people, right? And so there's that funny meme. It's not even that funny. If Facebook and Twitter and everyone can censor all this content, whatever it may be, why can't they get rid of child pornography off the website, off the internet?
The other thing you got to think about is sexualization of children. I mean, if you think about some of the pictures that's out there, I think the best one is if you see on Facebook what kids were and when they were 12 years old in the 1980s versus the kids are when they're now 12 years old. It's like, whoa. Right.
Now I'm
my parents would have a hissy fit. Let's just put it that way.
I know. My parents probably would have killed me. I remember I went to Catholic school, and I remember getting detention because they thought I was wearing lipstick, and I wasn't. I remember
just naturally beautiful. Let's just keep it that way.
No, I think I don't know. I think I drank fruit punch or something like that. And my lips turned red, and they gave me detention. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? But anyway,
the times that have changed. I mean, I can see even my kids. Like, there are times when they're acting, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's a little bit inappropriate, young lady. And no, you're not doing that.
Well, but all the stuff that they see and hear from their friends, so you can only, shelter them when they're in your own home, and and sometimes not even then. If they're on, the internet or whatever. So there's only so much you can shelter them from. And when other parents are looking the other way, they're talking to their friends and they're giving them all kinds of information that you might not want them to
I'm going
have.
to ask you a question because I see it in other people's. What's that black and blue mark on your arm? I see that right there, and I know people's going to ask, what is that? What did you do?
I actually, there's a gate. I still have baby gates, and I banged it into the baby gate.
Oh my God. You know what would be a good topic that we should talk about? Young ladies learning self-defense, or just self-defense in general.
You know, we're on the same page. I'm actually, so when I was pregnant with my daughter, I started looking into all these different classes that you could take, like first aid for infants and toddlers. And I found one that was defensive driving and self-defense with a toddler. And I'm pretty confident you can actually Google it. So I made myself and my nanny take several of these classes, and that was the one that I really wanted to take, and I didn't get to take it. Maybe I'm going to take it, and I'm going to make her take it too.
Unless you wanted to do my martial arts class, because my requirement is my girls have to learn martial arts. So I told you I for sure want my kids to get involved. There's a place here that I actually want to go to, and I want to go with the kids, but there's a age requirement, and they just don't meet it yet. Well, so I tracked down one of the really world-renowned martial artists. He's trained quite a bit of people. He's on the Kung Fu International board, and he's a known judge. So I finally got him to agree to come to Jersey to train some of our kids, and include my kids. And my husband and Jimmy and I, my husband and I are actually back in training again. It's been a long time since I've done martial arts. But he is like the old school martial arts that really train you, and he teaches you self-defense. He's telling you like how do you react, what do you do. So right now we're actually using a Chinese bow.
Really?
To train and how to use it. It's interesting. If you're interested, I'll share with you. But no,
I want to see it. I'll check it out.
Yeah, well, he's coming to Jersey next week. But if you want, I'll share with you the children's link. I'll let him know. I'll share with you the children's link, and you can just log in. He's teaching us online because of COVID. But take a look. He's great.
I will totally do it online. That's even easier.
So kids class is Mondays and Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
The adults class, we do so many days. But Sundays, there's a class immediately after the child's class for adults that we do. If you want, I'll share the link with you. I'll let you know.
Definitely send me the link, because I mean, I don't have to explain to you. Packing them up, to put them in the car, to drive. Oh my God, it's just, I can't. But if it was something I can do, then let's do it.
But so here's a caveat. He needs to see you though. And here's why, because he's trying to correct your movement as well.
Okay.
Share the link with you, and you can see for yourself.
I'm totally in. That sounds fantastic.
So tomorrow's class for the kids is tomorrow morning. I would suggest do the class on Sunday, so that way you can jump in afterwards as an adult to check out the adult class. Because my husband and I are doing it. Jimmy and I are doing it. So
I love it. I'm in.
Okay. Share with you later.
Well, wait. So what else do we need to cover now that I'm actually back in my seat?
Oh my God!
Probably better.
We talked about Lee. Thank you. We're going to see you next week and record you, and we're going to make you. We're not going to shame you, but we're going to have you talk about yourself, because you always ask other people. So now we're going to ask about you.
We're going to try and make you blush.
Oh, that's easy. I have no problems doing that. Sorry, Lee, and I will try and make you blush. And we have Ginger, which is going to be great. I love her. She's a little spitfire as well.
She's awesome.
Yes, and she has a breadth of knowledge in the media and the social media side that I think would be a very good perspective for folks in the social media world.
Well, and here's why. We already talked about it a little bit, but with what you're seeing as far as media in our industry, it's a lot of the same nonsense over and over. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand everyone's got to pay their bills, and if they're advertising, you got to put their article up. But she is just as interested in the out of the box type of thinking in regard to security related topics, getting the different viewpoints on really important security issues that when you go to an ISD or an ASIS event, you'd have to go to the keynote to even hear anything about it. Exactly. You'll never hear it. You'll never hear it on the show floor. It's nothing like that. So really examining the important security related topics. And she's just as passionate. That's why I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, it'll be good. But we also have to start thinking about who else we can bring on to kind of get a different perspective about security. We haven't gotten on yet. So maybe, again, in the comments, if anyone's interested, we have a list of people that we're interested in. But I think if there's suggestions for interesting people who are very vocal to just talk about different topics without fear, look, we would love to have that conversation as well, just to get a different perspective. And get people to think a little bit outside the box, as you like saying.
Right.
And, you know, not the same mainstream educational webinars or the same things that we're always constantly talking about. So definitely that's something that we should take a look at, as a different perspectives that's out there, and put it out there. And look who's here. Say hi.
Hello.
You may be in a video cast, honey. Say hi, honey.
Hi.
So this is going to be the future of security.
Did you just get bangs?
Ah, she got a haircut.
Hi, Miss
Very cool.
Elisa.
Hi.
Say hi, Miss Elisa. Hi.
How are you? Love the bangs.
All right. Can you guys go outside for a bit with Dom?
Bye-bye.
See ya.
We'll go downstairs and we'll be right back. Talk about it later. Okay. Thank you. Talk about barging in.
That's all right.
It'll be edited out.
That's fine.
I know. It's called
The
like,
magic of video.
well, or even that, people see what happens when you're working from home. This is
Right.
it. But
Right.
yeah, it's all good. That's what we're striving for. Path for them.
For sure. For sure. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Exactly. You know, a legacy for ourselves is useless. A legacy for the children and the future is the best thing in the world.
Agreed.
Leads us to WISE. And what we're doing for WISE, I think that's going to be so important as well, because we are creating that pathway for folks. We're creating a platform, and in talking to all the other young ladies out there and giving that opportunity, I think that's something very important that I think we need to talk about, is to promote other women, so that it gives them the opportunity to speak out and do what they need to do without fear or shame. So
Agreed. And you know what? Maybe those are some folks that we line up for some of the next upcoming shows. We have a lot of folks on the higher ed side. They're doing incredible research on security related topics. Yeah. Maybe we need to get Maxine on too. I mean, she could.
She has a breadth of knowledge that I think would be phenomenal that we don't even touch on.
And I know she's got a lot on her plate, but I would like to hear more about her dissertation and the work that she's done.
Agreed.
And, I think most people would want to hear it, particularly in security and how the built environment relates to what they're doing. So for sure. Yeah. I'd like to see what some of the comments are, people giving us some ideas, some out of the box ideas.
Or even anything new that we haven't touched on that I think would be not controversial, but I think would open the conversation for everybody else, or are afraid of speaking up about. And I think that would be worthwhile to have out there.
By the way, I wonder if we could do, when like 60 Minutes interviews somebody and it's top secret and they're blacked out and their voices change.
Well, maybe you have contact. Well, actually, I may have people in the government we can reach out to. Maybe you have people in the government we can do.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm game. That would be very interesting. And I actually have to use a robotic voice for them so they can speak in. That'll be pretty cool.
We got to talk to Lee, see if he has the capabilities. So I have a few folks that I'd like to call, and I'm sure really interesting backgrounds, and would be able to provide a lot of insight on some controversial topics within the industry. Right. So whether they're companies or products that have a little controversy around them, we'll just leave it at that.
There's one I'm thinking of, but the guy's out in Hong Kong, so we'll have to think about that a little bit. Yeah. Reverse the times. Okay. No, I'm game for that. That'll be interesting. Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. So that's, the end of that, and looking forward to seeing what people have to say about all the comments that's out there. Right.
Yep. For sure. We definitely want feedback from the audience. There's no question.
Yeah. Just no hate mail yet, please. I don't care. Whatever.
I'll let Lee read through the hate mail.
That's all Lee's problem. Sorry, Lee. We love you, but that's all you. All right, cool. Stopping the recording.